And we cannot see a thing. And we're at the minimums. Which is not great. Okay, we can see the runway. Yay! Unbelievable! Okay, I think we tested our luck a bit here, but hey, here we are. Okay, remove the throttle and try to settle her down. Boom. Floating, floating, floating. I think the idle is not working. That's a touchdown. 217. I think Icy is the winner. I'll show you. I'm surprised the beat rate will go. Yeah, pull right rather. This is definitely Quebec drift. Hey, this is better than I thought. So you all say you like the rain. I am outnumbered. We have those lilies or lilacs. They are very pretty, also very wet. Look at those lilies. They're wet. Then, birds are basically litters, really? I had no idea. Good to know. Or the quarter liters. The real issue in the US is the maintenance, I see. That exchanges are great, beautiful of a jet ski. Yeah, they are developed from the jet ski engines. Oh, 100 to go. Right, we're just on the edge here and that's minimal now. Now that looks better. More I would expect. Right. Predict minus 320. Thank you, thank you. Oh, it's time for the IFR glasses. Let me put them on. Oh dear, this is crazy. So it happens I'm only able to see the cockpit, so I see from here, here, and here. That's the view I'm having. But oh, great. Roll forward, roll forward, and let's see. So here's the Ibanez. I'm not Ibanez player 200, but we'll be playing the Ibanez. That's okay. I think we'll make it. So engines off. More than making it. Now, near aircraft, I would be concerned we will make the runway here. Like, okay, now we will. I would. Our airspeed is 110. Pretty much okay. I think we have wind from the left, at least that's what I'm feeling. So the crosswind landing seems to be really nice here. Round out, flare. And the touchdown. Right, I'll touch the water. I'll touch the water. Hang on. All right, we're good. Water has been touched. I can show you what I'm doing. We're gonna point it back to the sky again, and I'm gonna take this thing on again. Whoop. And again on slot 2 for some reason. I think we never had it before because $100 is the first time chat. So we're full flaps. My controls. Remember that the white arc is for the full flaps, so there is a chance you can extend takeoff flaps above the white arc, but you always need to check the speeds. The wind is basically slightly from the back, so no problem here. Now we do the round out.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10.
I love this. How did you manage to get it so right? Fantastic. Okay, now the pedal dance. Ah! No. Okay, it's... And 570 now. There's the runway inside. Perfect. So connect the autopilot. Light director off. No. Cluster up so I can see the runway. Align with the runway with the puppy on both sides. Okay, we busted the 850, so let's try to go all the way down and take the leverage that we're in the seam and see how nasty this can get. Okay, it's very nasty. So we're going around. Yay! Just like you want. Hey, we're back. Let's get the music going. I had the clips, so there was no music. The lights in my glasses look a little spooky. With the microphone toward the angle, I think everything is gonna work. So we're flying the new sim, this Condor. I've been flying gliders in the past. I have like 100 hours in the gliders. I absolutely loved it. I spent quite a few years sitting there and flying. So I might be pretty knowledgeable. I tried the Condor recently. It's pretty cool. I really like it. So let's see what this is about. Now, it starts a little different to all the other sims. So let me try to show you what we have. Is that gonna work? That might gonna work. It may work. No! Not this scene. This scene. There we go. Alright, so I spent quite a bit of the afternoon today setting up my hotkeys. So basically what I didn't want to unbind the things in the sim, but I set the keys so that I have them on my joysticks. I basically use pad next to trigger the buttons. So for example, this button that I'm clicking now, that's number 20. It's set to... Uh-oh. Why is it not set? Oh no, don't tell me. All of my work is gone. Oh no, I'm scared. I really hope some of those buttons. But I was clicking save all the time. Where is it? Oh, that's crazy. Last change, 1829. I think I saved it more. The time. Is that a little too early? I'm pretty sure I was saving this a lot. Is there any chance I was editing the wrong preset? Let's restart the sync and let's see if that helps. That would be the first time Spot let me down. And anyway, the thing about the sim is it starts with this fancy UI. I hope this is somewhat readable. You have all the settings here, and from here you can start the flight. So the game is not running as such until you start the flight, which is a little different than all the other games. I have this basically at max settings, so it's full screen emulation, 4K, MSIA is super sampling, which is at 8. I have vertical sync, so that's limiting this to 240 Hz of my monitor, but most of the games only push 225 FPS, give or take. And this game is absolutely putting the max. Everything else is to the high. It also runs in VR, but it only runs with the Oculus API. So I cannot use the virtual desktop, which I prefer. And it runs so smooth in VR, I was amazed. I've got my sounds a little lower because I have so many audio sources, I like to control them. I usually have my games around 50, this one I had to go a little lower. Then I have my joysticks, and what I did here is I mapped the axis what I'm gonna use. Everything else I have left as default keybinds. But the thing is we can only change this before we start the game, which is a little unfortunate because then you do not know what the keybinds are. So what I did is I made screenshots of this so I can reference them later. And I'm a little worried my keybinds are not working in Spot, and I will have to read all of them later. It's just a little weird. So anyway, I'll get the screenshots ready so I can reference that. I'm using mouse lock. I set the stick inertia to 0. My stick itself has a lot of inertia, so it's going fine. Network options are for the other players, which we are not gonna have today, unless there is someone who has Condor 3 and wants to play with me. I would be very glad. Everything else is pretty much default. I tried the other navigator, but I think it's a little too complex for me now, so we use the default one. So that's it. There's also flight school, which has like 4 levels. And I haven't tried that, but it basically, well, I tried the view lessons. It basically writes you what you need to do. And there's all of the important things, to be honest, here. So I feel this is pretty nice. But I haven't tried it yet. I may try it one day. The help just redirects to the web page. And we have the web page. I got the XC. It is a little pricey, but well, I still like it, so I'm pretty happy. That's the default planes that it comes with. Well, the default gliders. So Blahnik is a well-known trainer, also used for aerobatics. There's at least 2 aerobatic teams using Blahnik. It's super nice glider. There's Polish glider, Diana 2. And there's the Odysseus. So we're gonna fly the Odysseus. It's just a 2-seater, the one you would... the kind of glider you might encounter first in a training. Porque! Welcome, Super Tom. We'll be gliding. It's super cool. We've got this bat plane. We've got Grunau Baby, which comes from Jerzów Sudecki, which was called Grunau back in German times. That's the default planes. There's no default glider with an engine. They can be bought as add-ons. The add-ons are also pretty pricey, but to be honest, all you need to start is here. How are you doing, Super Tom? Welcome, welcome. So, Diana 2 is free, yeah. Do you have anything to do with that? So the thing is, I edited my SPAD next so I can use my keybinds from the joystick, like through the keyboard. And it seems it didn't get saved correctly for some reason. And I'm super unhappy about it. Let's see if anything here is bound. For example, what they have? I had this guy. Nada. ¿Por qué? I'm so confused. I spent quite a lot of time today editing this. They definitely finished later than 18 to 89. And I definitely saved it way more than 9 times. Something somewhere went wrong, and I'm not sure how to restore this. This guy is confused. Was I editing a wrong one by mistake? Ah, I see. We need this per... Oh. Alright, I think we're saved. I'm just dumb. I have this glider for Misfits, but I have Condor desk for Condor. Now that looks more like it. Perfect. Alright, perfect. So I really like SpatNext, it's payware, but it's pretty cool. So what I'm doing is when I press this button, it sends the R key to the active window. Now the thing about this sim is that it only works when it's active, so I didn't really care about that. I've set a few others, like for example here I have this axis, and I have press and hold and release. Because for those controls, I need to hold this. So I have set a full metric ton of that. That's gonna be good. Hang on, let me refresh my preview because my preview is not running. I don't know if anything is going on. Now I can see it, perfect. I just need to see if something is moving. Oh. Also, I've been flying the OG Condor back in early 2000s, and I loved it. It hasn't changed like too much since back then. It's a fairly simple theme, but I think it also offers a lot of opportunities to learn, and to my liking, it looks pretty good. So it comes with one map by default from Slovenia. I believe the same might be Slovenian made, but I'm not sure. So that's the airport it started me in by default. It is a pretty nice area, like in the mountains, so we're gonna use it. And the map goes a little to Austria. There's a lot of Slovenia. So that's it. There's the TMAs and whatnot. I played with the weather, so I set a little southeasterly wind, so you can go towards the mountains, and I played with dice. This is also pretty nice. Like, this is basically like super educational. So you can set where is the inversion layer, which basically limits how big the clouds can grow. And I understand the OD is like the chance of precipitation. That might be it. You can set the temperature and the dew point, which basically the two parameters together control where the cloud base is gonna be, and the inversion controls like how high the thermals will reach and whether we'll have any clouds or not. So I think we're gonna put those cloud base around here, like that's 2000 AGL, and that's super high. I'm gonna put this inversion just like here, so we can have some small precipitation chance. So we'll see how that works. I'm still not super knowledgeable about that. And one thing I learned today, here in Notam you can set, where is it? Thermal helpers range and third point helpers range. So for that, today I set it to max so that we can basically show things. So there's ghosts. Oh, but ghosts, I think I need my previous recordings. So I guess if I fly this task one time, then I put myself, then I can put myself as ghost, and will show our glider from the previous time. So let's try to start it. Let's see if it works. It's starting the window now for me. And let me see, is it gonna show it for you any second now? I'll wait for it to load, and then you should be able to see it. Also, yeah, you can just see it like that. Boom. So it loaded. It runs at absolutely max FPS. I can hide this UI so we don't have this thing displayed. Alright. So anytime I'll tap the audio goes to 0. So let me fiddle with the things now. Why is the game capture not working? Oh, it's working now. Perfect. So the FPS is absolutely amazing, and also the FPS in VR is absolutely amazing. It runs at full FPS, so the VR is super usable. Like full resolution, full settings, it runs at full FPS, and to my liking, it looks pretty okay. Like, I'm happy with that. Well, the houses don't look great, but then it has a grass, so that's better than Mrs. 2020 already. It has some like satellite imagery to make the terrain. And yeah, for my use in here as a training tool, this is great. What I believe they added in this version is the 3D puff clouds. I'm not sure if they were in Condor 2 or not. Like in the old one, it was just a flat texture that was rotating as you were looking at it. It looked absolutely hilarious. I'm still not up to speed with my keybinds. I don't have any track IR or things like that today, so it's just me using my joystick binds. One thing that's great about the weather is the clouds and the clouds evolution. So basically you can look at the one cloud and you'll see the full life cycle as it forms, grows, dissipates, which is super important for gliding because, well, it's just important to observe. So for example, the clouds that will give us good lift are the ones with well-defined base. That's something to look for. And then also the part of the cloud which gives you lift is another thing to look for. And we have those helpers. There we go. So it shows the thermals, like where they are. So I think the simulation here is like moderately simple, but it really gives you all you need, and it's really good for practice. Another thing is I tried thermals in Flight Simulator Misfits 2024, and they're totally unusable. The reach lift is super usable, but the thermals, absolutely unusable. I don't know, they're like... So normally the thermals are like pretty round when you look from top of them. And those in Misfits, they seemed pretty... like super narrow? I don't know, I just couldn't make a circle anywhere that would give me a lift on a full circle. So that's pretty much unusable. Right, I'll get my paint ready just in case I want to demonstrate you something. I'll be able to do that. God, my paint is like full white now. I don't like full white. I need some shade of gray. All right, we have paint here. If you have any questions, I will be able to answer. So get your questions ready. I am pretty seasoned glider pilot. I'm not a pro or not like a competition pilot or anything, but I know a thing or two about that, and I was able to stay in the air for quite a long time. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Whenever the audio goes off, that's when I'm clicking out of the sim, and then it's basically unplayable, so I hope it's gonna work fine today. We can look around with our hat like that. I also tried using OpenTrack and it worked perfectly fine. So I had my Toby through OpenTrack and it worked absolutely fine here. Let's get this camera moved a little. No, actually moved the wrong way. Perfect. The thing you hear now is the varimeter. I'll just silence it. Do we keep this UI on? I don't like this rise in because we're not gonna rise. So we're gonna hide it. Alright, I believe our QNH is set correctly already. I have a way to change it myself, but it's 510 meters, so that's a number to remember. Metric altimeters, for some reason, the altimeter is over here. One bummer in the sim is there is no 3D cockpit mouse interaction, so everything I do is with the keybinds, or to be more precise, my joystick binds, which is a little cumbersome, but it works. It's beautiful winter altimeter with the QNH 13, so that's standard. Don't remember if there was option to change it in settings. And our airfield level is 510, so that's a number to remember. Because I need to know how high we are above the airfield. Right, I also have like a keybind where I can quickly glance at our instrument panel. I have a keybind where I can quickly look at our left wing and right wing. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, I can zoom in. That's how, as far as it goes. So, without further ado, let's go. We are gonna take off behind the top line. And the thing is, when I started my gliding career, the first thing you start learning because you're paying for your time, and time is pretty expensive in the flying world. You don't want to waste any of it, so the first thing I was tasked with is flying behind the top line, and you probably all know flying information is not an easy feat by any means. Here, the easier part is you don't need to control your throttle or speed that much because the line will keep you there. But still, staying information is super difficult, and the first minutes of my training was trying to stay information with the plane. And Panagon, welcome! It just took so much time for my brain to click in. I linked some walk-ons for a lot of you people. I'll try to link what it does good. We're gonna be gliding. So we have a walk-on. I chose a sound, I was going through sound, selecting any random sound that reminds me of someone or would be fun. So you got this one. Alright, let's roll. So I'll hold the plane. There's two ways to do that. Either hit escape and you hit ready for takeoff. No, there's no 3D cockpit interaction, but there is an unlimited number of keybites. How's your luck, Pin? Welcome. Hope you got some rest. I got some rest. I got some rest last week, so I was ill. But my thing is, whenever I'm on holiday, I'm stressing out because I want to do so much, and it's not humanly possible. And then I'm sad that I didn't do as much as I wanted. So because I was ill last week and I was on sick leave, I just had to sit home and do nothing. So I got some mental rest, but my body, now I see my body was not having it. I went through I had ear infection, so except for the pain and hearing problems, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, my body was pretty exhausted. I got some good rest over the weekend once the infection got basically down to 0. Let's get flying. So we call the plane. I hope the audio levels are okay. Alright. Quick check our flight controls and speed brakes. Now, one peculiar thing I noticed here. So, first we need to keep our wings level. If there's any wind, we also need to apply particular correction over the aileron. Whoa. So you want to stay low after your takeoff. You take off first off the glider because your takeoff speed is much lower. And then you try not to go too high, so you do not pull the tail of the plane up, making the plane points down, which should be very unlikely for the plane. So task started, but we're not worried about that. And my left hand is on the trim, so I will be moving my trim constantly. So basically I have my right hand on my stick and my left hand on my trim, and I'm moving the trim constantly so that I do not feel any pressure. But what I did, I bound my trim to an axis, which in a glider, as you will see now one moment. Oh, actually let's get our gear up. So there's the gear handle here. Right, look at the plane, Lex. Look at the plane. I'll demonstrate the trim a little later. So the first rule of flying information is you have to have your wings parallel to the plane. So if we are not same level with the plane, we'll start going sideways. I'm also trying to chase the plane. So if you're trying to center yourself behind the plane, just minimal wing, minimal bank, or you can also use your rudder pedals. So you need to keep your wings parallel to the plane wings, and it takes some getting used to. So maybe that's one reason I can very easily tell if my photos are not level, because I just learned to see this constantly. One particular thing I also noticed is whenever the plane turns, you will see the ailerons moving, and the sim looking so simple, they care to model that, and I think it's pretty important because all the pros will look at that. So you'll basically see the ailerons moving before the plane starts banking. If you keep an eye there, you'll be able to have an early warning about that. gives me a random tail plane. So this is Robin DR400 French plane. It's super nice. That's like beautiful, insane, so healthy. Yeah, there we go. And also the way we're flying is we want to have the wheels on the plane, basically on the horizon. It's a little difficult to see the horizon here because of the mountains. Now, if we are doing wave flight, there is a super high turbulence, so we will stay like somewhere here. And right here, you see this shaking. We are basically in the slipstream of the plane. So all this super turbulent air left behind the plane's propeller is somewhere below the plane. It likes go downwards a little. I'm not exactly sure why it goes downwards, but it does. So somewhere over here is the plane. It's not in the way, it's the slipstream. And if you get in there, it gets super shaky, super loud, and super uncomfortable. So there is zero reason to stay in that. So in normal conditions we stay above that. When we're doing wave flying, which I think we'll do in the future here, because the sim has support for that, then you need to stay very low, and usually we also have a much shorter line, like 30 meters. This one is 50 meters, which is very long. Maybe even 20 or 15 meters, I don't remember. Also in flight training, one of the way to train your towing capabilities is you stay in the 4 positions, like the boxes. Oh, now the plane is telling us to disconnect, so I'll pull the lever, disconnect, pull up, so we get our speed lower. Right, and now we need to find some lift. Probably the plane left us in a lift, but because I had my variometer sound off, I didn't really hear it. So let's try to go back and find it. One way to do that is to look if there's any cloud above us, which I don't see. Come on, plane. Audrey with the sub. Thank you for the resub. I'm glad you're liking it. Thank you. Welcome to the club. Also, this area is so beautiful. So I'm super curious how they like the visuals of this scene, because to me it looks pretty spot on. It doesn't have this like HDR vibe like Misfits has now, and X-Plane also. So the colors are a little flat, but other than that, I'm super liking it. Oh, there we have the lift. Try to explain more about these instruments later, once we get something going. Looks good to me. Yay! I'm curious about the other simmers, because everyone is super pumped about the flight simulator being so beautiful right now. So the noise you are hearing is basically telling us whether we are in a lift or a sink. Whether the air that we are in is rising or going down. I don't see any cloud here. Why did the plane leave us here? There we go. Alright, so let's try to turn here, and I'll try to catch it. It didn't seem like very good lift, so it will probably take me a moment to catch it. Alright, let's make a first circle without any corrections, and let's see how this looks like. So I'm trying to fly around 19 kilometers per hour here. Right, let's try turning the other way, because we seem to be totally out of it. Also turn off these lift helpers in a moment to see what this looks like. I have super much trouble finding this lift. Also, circling in sync is not a good idea. Also, we're not that not that high, so I'm not liking it at all. Great start. Alright, let's roll back towards the airfield. I hope we'll catch something on the way. This is a little undecided here. I wish we had a little better start. I should have been listening to Just Plain Down, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer, explain anything. But that's not a great start. We playing I guess so far. I'm not sure if we were left in any lift or not because I wasn't paying attention. Explaining things. And we're also pretty low, like we are 500 meters above the airfield. So I don't remember the exact parameters of the glider, but I believe it can do from 1 kilometer of height, it can glide around 40 kilometers. Well, probably more than that, in best conditions. Because we have some sink on our way here, it's probably a little less. There's also 2 modes of this barometer, which I haven't learned exactly how they work yet. Alright, great start. So I want to be a little more comfortable being closer to the airfield so that we do not try to find any lift being far away and then not find it. To be a glider pilot, to try to stay in the area where you can always reach the airfield, unless you're flying cross country. Well, then obviously you're risking out landing. It doesn't happen all that often. Do we see any clouds over here? So there's a cloud over here. Now we had this wind from the southeast. Also, one thing is that you cannot easily tell just by looking at the cloud where it is in space. So one trick to tell that is to look at the shadow. So I see this cloud over here, and then I see the shadow of that cloud right in front of us. And then looking where the sun is, that will give you some idea where that cloud is in space. Right, this is not looking right. No, I want a great start, and we had a terrible start. We were basically 300 meters over the field, so that's basically our pattern altitude. Would there be an outdraft over water? Usually not. The water is not very updraft friendly. We call it thermals in gliding. So we have those things here that we call thermals. Right. So let's do a little cheating here. We'll see where it is. Water is not very friendly, but it can be pretty random, but contrasts are good. So when there is like a dark area and a light area on the ground, that will likely generate a thermal. Basically the way it works, the sun hits the ground, and then the bubble of that warmer starts rising. So whenever any air is warmer than the neighboring area, that one will start rising first, and then you have this rising column of air going up. Then as it goes up, it cools down. Once it reaches dew point temperature, the water condenses, giving a cloud. Right, so now this beeping is telling us where we have the lift, where we don't. Great to have a heads-up display that show that. Yeah, it would be great, but that's where the experience comes from. I think some people have experimented with some techniques to do that, but I don't think it was anything like production ready. Alright, so we got it. Ideally, I want to stay in the center of that lift, so I have a constant lift all the time. So now we're a little on the side of that. So now what I need to do is center the lift. And then as soon as it starts rising, you want to straighten up for like 5 to 10 seconds. And then start again. And you do one correction per turn. Because if you start correcting too much, you will likely get result out of that. As closer to the ground, this lift can be a little less organized, so it will be a little more chaotic. As it goes higher, it becomes a little more stabilized. And then, once the water condenses and the cloud forms, it gets extra kick of energy, because once the water condenses, it releases a lot of energy. You can think about it that if you want the water to boil, to evaporate, you need to cross this barrier to turn it from liquids to gas. But when you go the other way around, it releases all that energy. Wow. Alright, I need to start paying attention. So when constant spin, like constant bank, also there is this chance that the bubble run out and we're not gonna have that lift anymore. Did I just so completely missed it, or has it ended here? I think it's still here. I have hope. Right. See, it's pretty chaotic around here. We're close to the airfield. I'm trying to keep an eye where the airfield is. Right, let's try again. So I'm gonna keep around 19 kilometers per hour. And try to keep constant bank. Now the thing is, this lift is trying to push you out of that lift. That's basically how things work. And you have to constantly fight against it. So if you let your controls, or just don't focus too much, you're likely to get out of it. It's so chaotic around me flying so bad. I think it's both. Alright, so we went down to 800, now we're closing on 1000. Remember, our airfield altitude is 500. So when I was gliding, we were setting our altimeter to 0 at the airfield. That was a little easier to operate, but when you're flying cross country, you don't really want that, because the ground level below you changes a lot. Is my mic level okay? I hope it's fine. So see that as we go higher, that lift seems to be getting better and better. So I think this game is much simpler in terms of like physics and looks and everything than Misfits and Explain. But in the areas that are important, I think it is really well done. Like, it's simple, but it's really well done. All the important effects, I think, are modeled. This is great. I think next time what I want to do is to have my head tracker on, so that we can actually look up and see where the cloud is. Now when I'm trying to look up, I get very disoriented. Right, so let's try to... I'll see where the maximum lift is. The maximum lift is towards that quarry. So left will be this funny mountain over there. So I want to turn like straighten up 90 degrees before the maximum lift. That may be the roller, maybe I'm just making that, but it tried this in this game and it seemed to work. So let's straighten up around here. So that's like 90 degrees earlier than this quarry. Alright, let's not overdo it. We're still not that high, although we're in a safe ground because the refuge is just below us. We also have this yarn piece glued on our canopy. This is for showing if we're flying straight or not. So I'm trying to keep it somewhat centered. Because when you're flying sideways, we have a lot of drag, and when you look at the aircraft from the front, it's very slim. From the side, not at all. So I can spend all day going in circles like this. I absolutely love it. And I wasn't doing too much cross-country flying. Like I only did it for the training, the cross-country. I never took off with me. So I was mostly flying around the airfield and just trying to stay in the area as long as I can. Right, I think we're losing it a bit. Right, we're going up. That's nice. Also those clouds, they're getting pretty intense. And I really like the look of it. Like the cumulus clouds in Flight Simulator don't seem to be very like modeled accurately. Right, I can explain this thermal centering technique a little later if anyone's interested. I have my paint ready so I can draw the thing. Also Vex, try to remember to keep your nose same amount below the horizon. That will make it much easier. Right, let's try to turn more aggressive here. So I'll make this 45-degree bank. Try to keep my speed. But this works better if the thermals are more chaotic and more narrow. And I was mostly climbing in mountainous areas, and our thermals were very chaotic and very narrow. In the flat lands, they're usually more organized and much broader. So you don't need to resort to flying with a high bank like this. But I'm pretty used to doing this. And again, I tried to do the same thing in Flight Simulator and I totally couldn't do it. Like, it would never leave them for the whole circle. Right. Our goal for now is to reach the cloud base. If there's a cloud above us in the first place. Oh, there is one. Also, I really like that you can hear the speed. So the whooshing sounds they get very quiet when you're getting slow. Actually, I think like between 80 and 90 is a better speed for us in thermal. There's a lot of explaining to do, but I think we can save it for later. One thing about the speed is that lower speed gives us smaller circling radius, so more likely to stay within smaller area and closer to the center of the lift. The birds are much slower compared to the gliders. So those guys, they can absolutely stay in the core of the thermal, just zipping up like no tomorrow. We are a little less fortunate, but the older gliders, like from 30s, they tend to fly slower because they were like not made for cross country, or to put it another way, the way how they did cross country back then was very different to how we do cross country right now. So now gliders are optimized to cover more distance from the set height, but they're a little worse in climbing in thermals than those pre-war gliders. So the pre-war gliders, they were trying to climb as fast as possible, but they were not good at going far from the same height. And also what those guys did, they used to climb through the clouds a lot. And it has been pretty much, I think, banned in competition at some point in 70s maybe? But there was a point when people stopped doing that because it's pretty dangerous. But before that they were just climbing through the clouds and that gave them more height. Also inside the cloud the lift is much stronger, which also makes it more dangerous because it can, in certain cases, rip the glider apart. Also we have this task to do. So do we want to try our task? Again, I have these thermal helpers and I have our task helpers. Turn down and let's see if I can see where the starting point is. And there's the starting point. So I need to be in that half circle area. We need to get to the other side of it and then we can cross the start line. I haven't tried any tasking here, so I'm not sure how that works. The trim. So my left hand is on the trim, and basically this trim here. Alright, I'm not sure which way it works, but it changes where the force neutral point on the stick is. So when I pull it back, you can see the pilot like pushing the stick in forward or pulling it back, and that's where without me moving the joystick. So in real glider we'll feel the like force neutral point change on the stick, and then it basically corresponds to your speed at this neutral point. Alright, I don't think that's a good explanation, so you probably didn't get that. So let's put it this way. If I want to fly certain speed, if I fly straight and level in steady air, I need my stick in certain position between full back and full forward, and this will give me a fixed speed. In still air, straight and level flight. Well, straight flight, not level, because we're always sinking in gliders. So not now because we're not Arnold Schwarzenegger or any other bodybuilder, at least not me. And even those guys, if they had a force on a stick for a very long time, they all get tired, so it's no bueno. So what you want to do, this position of the stick that corresponds to your speed, you want to have that position to have zero force. And there's two construction types in gliders to do that. One of them is that there is a little tap on the back of the elevator. I think this is the first time you're showing me the plane, well, the glider. So that's one way they do that. The other way, simpler, that's often used in gliders, there is simply a spring somewhere inside, and you change that spring setting so that it gives you the neutral point of the stick in certain place. And there we go. So what I'm trying to do, I'm constantly adjusting this trim so I don't need to fight my stick back, forward and back, and fly a certain speed. We're not doing a great job of climbing here. I could totally do a better job, but we're climbing, so I'm not super worried about that. Although this thermal will at some point run out for two reasons. If it doesn't turn into a cloud, basically, even though the air is going up, we are sinking through that air that is going up. So sooner or later we are going to reach the bottom of that warm air, and there's no warm air growing up for a certain period of time. And also the cloud has a life cycle, so it's gonna start dissipating at some point. So this lift is not gonna last forever. We'll need to go somewhere else sooner or later. Now, is this little computer that we had in front of us. So back in the day we didn't have those. Well, in the early 2000s we had the palm tops. I got one, intending to use that for gliding, but it never happened. Now technology is much easier to use, to buy and everything, so there's much more of those things. And I forgot how to operate that. So now the problem is I cannot click those buttons in Sim, I just have this bounce, so I can operate them. So I can zoom in like that. I can change my mode, so this is the thermal mode. And you can clearly see that our track over the ground is moving one way. That's because of the wind. So as we climb, the wind is also pushing us, so that's why our track over the ground is not one circle, it's like a spring that we are pulling apart. So that's the thermal mode, that's I mode, and that's G mode. So I think the I is as we are during the task, and the G will be final glide. Alright. So now let's keep us in the thermal mode. Right, this is just changing the map layout, and this is changing the points. Right. Now, I never get bored flying in circles like that. It's super fun for me. I know a lot of people like, how can I do this all day? But if you can drive American Truck Simulator all day, you can also do this all day. I think there was some lighting there? No. Or maybe. I always feel those clouds are simulated brilliantly. The clouds are much better than in Flight Sim and X-Plane together. Which is a little strange because those guys put so much effort in simulating the weather and the clouds, and they're not looking good. Alright. Let's go through the start line and we'll see how we can make this task work. Oh, right, let's wait through the ad, so I'll still keep climbing throughout the ad. And we are almost 2000 meters, less 500, so that's 1500 meters over our airfield, so that's a lot. But that's the weather I set for us. Trying to look if I can figure out which part of the cloud should give us the best lift. I feel the lift is trying to push me left, so I'm gonna turn right, because the lift is a stronger lift. Whichever wings get stronger lift, that wings go up, so the glider goes out of the lift. Also, flying with the B-wing is so much easier. There we go. That's how we should have been going all this time. So we're getting like 3 meters per second. I also need to set this up. I'll probably explain it later. That is over. Right. So, I got this lift a little better. I set our Mach ready to 3 meters per second. Basically our... let's get it 2.5. That's our average thermal. And this will give us the optimal speed to fly between the thermals. Right, I think we're happy. So let's get to our start line. Let's see how we can get this going. So, let's accelerate the glider. I will trim down. Now let's figure out if I know what's this best speed to climb the thermals. I'll switch our... So we have two varimeters. Varimeter is the vertical speed indicator. We have the bottom one, which is the num one. It just shows the instantaneous climb or sink. That is including the glider sync and including the thermal. Now the one on the top is a little more clever. It also takes the input from our speed indicator, basically, and it gives us the net sync or lift. So that's excluding what I do with my flying. So if I pull up, you will see this bottom one go up, actually, and if I go down, we'll see the bottom one go down, but the top one not so much. It should pretty much show a constant value, give or take. Right, so let's switch this mode. Now we need to go to start first. So somewhere over here, you should see the best speeds to climb. Yeah, best speed to fly. I'm just not sure why it's indicated. I'm still a little puzzled about that. Like, how is that being indicated? There is this STF on the bar, so this blue one here. So that's the speed to fly. I see. All right. So we can turn towards the start line now. Let's get in the start sector. Also, I like to have this north up, but I'm not sure how to change it. Now a little too fast. I wonder if there's any more indicator. So I think yeah. So this red line. Hang on. I think this red line is showing us if I need to sync a little more or... Alright, so I want this red line on a 0, I believe. And that's gonna give us best... Not sure if we crossed our start line correctly, so let's fix that. Let's get into the... Let's get well into this. And try to cross the start line. I didn't run any manuals, so I'm not sure if it's gonna switch automatically. I think I'll just manually change it to the next waypoint. I would love to have us going north, but I'm not sure if I can do that. There must be a way to set this up, I'm just not sure how to do that. So, let's cross this line, and this should start our task. Getting a little late here, so I'm not sure how far we're gonna go, and if we're gonna finish this or not. Let's try. Still some new things for me, flying this. Right, so let's go towards this cloud in front of us. And I'll simply climb under it. I think we're going through a lift right now. Oh, and a strong one. But I don't want to climb just yet. Right, it's over, so now we can accelerate again. You can just point the nose down and let it gain speed instantaneously. It's pretty fun to do. If I zoom out, there is this cloud in front of us, so I do want to climb under this cloud. Now, mind me, the wind is coming. Hey Baines, we're flying the Condor. I love it. The wind is coming from the southeast. So that lift we might have actually passed it. Uh-oh, you're a Condor. Well, sort of. Give or take. There's so many moving parts. Maybe I chose a little too complicated glider. There we go. So let's climb in here. So I switch our varimeter. It has two modes. It has cross-country mode and thermal mode. It's probably different names, but I'm not sure. So I start turning, pulled back the elevator trim. Also, I have my elevator trim bound to the axis. I super recommend you to try it because it gives you much better feedback of what is happening. In the real glider, it is on the axis here, on my left hand. There's like a green ball under my hand, which you don't see. I think I can run the bug wipers and you will see that. See, there is this green ball, that's the elevator trim. So when I'm flying a glider, I have my hand on the ball all the time, and I'm adjusting this elevator trim all the time. And that this bug wiper is going to the end and back, and it's cleaning our leading edge, so we have a better performance. The bugs worsen the performance. Right, I think I want to keep 80 kilometers per hour as we're climbing. Also, let's get this guy to thermal mode. There we go. So I think the thicker, the more red it is, the stronger the lift. So it also gives us indication which way we should go. But not this way. One. So that's 1 hour. Once in the jaw, let's go. Alright, this is the easy mode with all those indicators. Like, I'm so used to not having all of this. The Baines, what do you think? Does the sim look bad? Does the sim look great? I honestly like it. The colors are a little flat. If you zoom in, obviously the objects are not so cool, but you know, it runs at... So I have my monitor capped at 240 Hz and I have V-Sync. So this game is pulling as much as the monitor is letting it. It's showing mostly 225 FPS, but this is as much as as any other game can handle. If I uncapped it, it ran at like 300 FPS, I think. And this is max settings, so I'm honestly loving it. And in VR it's the same story, it's just as much as it can push. So as soon as this needle starts going up, that's when I want to straighten out for a moment. That should lead us toward more stable climb. Obviously that doesn't always work. Mind that speed. So I think my mistake here is not keeping the constant speed, and then my circling goes out certain way and that pushes me out of the thermal. But it is a little difficult keeping this constant speed, especially once you're getting up drafts and down drafts. thing is, when you're flying the little glider, the real glider, as soon as the updraft hits you, you feel that on your butt, like your cherries going up, and like you hear the spike in the speed, but the speed indicator only shows the speed going up like second later. So whatever you feel is more instantaneous than what the instruments are showing you, which is super confusing. Right, I think I'll raise this Mach ready to 3 meters per second. We have the averages shown as well, so there's like a red diamond, a small one. It was like a 3.5 a moment ago, now it's like around 3. And as we get closer to the cloud base, this lift is only getting stronger and stronger because the cloud is sucking all that air. Also, I show you what it looks like as we enter the cloud. We will not enter it fully, we'll just like get a little in the cloud base, and then you start seeing only below you. See, it's slowly starting. We do not see those clouds in front of us anymore that well. We're looking through the cloud at this point. We're still not in the cloud. Hang on. See, now we can totally see this cloud obstructing the view. It's getting a little hazy. Now we'll start seeing only below us. C3 doesn't look as bad from this altitude. C3? What's C3? Condor 3. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, when you get very close to the ground, I agree it looks a little bad because the pixels from the satellite image are big. And the houses look like boxes. Also, the waves on the water are a little Other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. Definitely does the job. And you know, the gliding experience is more important here than the looks, but the looks, I kind of like it. I think I got pushed out of this lift. See if I can recapture it. Or maybe that cloud. No. Cloud is totally not dissipating. Or maybe it is. Cloud is gone. Right. Let's go to gliding mode. Why is there only one turning point? I thought I had two. Might have messed this up. Right. Switching to cross-country mode. So now I understand I want this red line on the 0. That should be the speed to fly. It should give us the best range. Alright, let's try to unzoom this. So that's thermal, inter, I know, and final glide. So that's in between. If I zoom this out, no, this, oh, I put the start in the wrong place. that's why we never reached the start in the first place. Right, so let's fly to start. So I messed this up when setting up the task. Let's see what happened. My bad. So the start is somewhere that way. So I think we can climb under this cloud now. Next. Need to stream a little more because I'm fighting with the stick. I should be fighting with the trim. That's pretty cool with all these instruments. I quite like it. Yeah. Also, there's a funny feature. You can look at the watch. I forgot where I put this. Yeah, can you look at your clock, at your watch? Pretty funny. Right, so look where the shadow is, look where the cloud is. The wind is coming from behind us left. I didn't pay attention where the cloud base was. We are going through some serious sync right here. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna fly the full task. I think we'll just have a look around these mountains and then we'll come back because I'm totally not gonna make it time-wise. I need to hit my bedtime as well. Let's try to catch this lift. Woohoo! That's a strong one. I like it. I think I can put this elevator trim all the way back. It's still designed to keep me above the stall speed. Most likely. There we go. I think I'm mashing the controls out too much, or maybe not in the most coordinated way. You can see that my speed of rotation is going up and down all the time. So I didn't change this to thermal modes. There we go. Right, this thermal is so strong and we are so close to the cloud base. It's very wide, so I don't even need to center it that much. But I could do a little better. Right, and we need to go where this black line is pointing. So the idea is not to enter the cloud, so you can see other gliders as well, and you can see where you're going. So let's try this now. We can still continue on under this cloud. And it's giving us warning about the TMA, but I'm not gonna care about this today. I think we're gonna care more later. I mean, in future. So trying to stay below this cloud. I can fight it two ways, either go faster and more down, or use the speed brakes. But we don't wanna use the speed brakes here. Let's just start going. So, wow, 10 minutes, welcome. How we're doing? We're doing gliding. I'm learning this theme and all the instrumentation, so not super up to speed. Oh, that's your welcome. Welcome, welcome. I did set a welcome for many people. So now it get announced. Wow. You got this one. I chose a little random for everyone. I hope you like it. Right, our speed to fly is a little faster than that. How we're doing? That's our speed to fly. This should give us best range in this scene. And we're gonna get under this cloud in front of us. Try to climb a little. But those mountains are pretty tall. So we're getting pretty close to those mountains. Yikes. And we should be good. AI. Oh, you need to AI and then something after that. No, like AI, like how is Vex feeling today? This guy. There was a climb here. There was a... There we go. Please comment on Vex's hairstyle. It's giving main character energy. I need your hairstyle. Hell is that. 10 out of 10. But can't tell where the hairline is when I have no hair, or can you? Right, let's speed through this area. I'm confused by AI series. Yeah, I think Streamlands put a lot of description what the AI should do. It is pretty chatty. Let's climb over here. I don't want to get too close to these mountains. Right, those mountains from this close, they don't look great. That's not Misfits level. I'll show the glider. That's what we're flying today. Duodiscus. Also, I need to put a better registration number. There's a ton of other cameras, but I'm not super up to speed with them. No, where's the lift? Where's the lift? This guy, crazy flying. So we need to go that way. There we go. Right, let's continue along our black line. Uh-oh. We totally got in the clouds. Where did I put this starting point? Didn't pay attention, it's going through such tall mountains. Eek. Outlanding here. Not gonna be great, although there is some fields in those valleys. So I could like totally put it down over there. Yeah. This small meadow over there, or field. I think I can put it down there if we need to. So those clouds are still little textures looking around, but there's so many of them they look like 3D clouds. It is a little weird. I always have some reservation of flying the speed to fly because it's pretty fast. Are we gonna go through that rain in front of us? So I can clearly see there's rain going down. See there's like a gray area. So the rain is probably not gonna give us any leads. So maybe let's try to avoid that. Let's see what the cloud looks like here. I'm not sure which way is better to go. Let's try to go through this. We'll see what happens. So much focus. Yeah, I think there will be quite a lot of seeing going through this rain. Or is there some lift now? No. So the showing is average varimeter and netto. Average is where we are going as a glider. Netto is where the air is going. So that's taking out the glider contribution to lift or sink. Now we're going through the rain, so the thing is through the roof. We should go even faster. Right, now we go through this. Let's see. I think that cloud on 1 o'clock, that's where we want to go. There's shadow there, so it's pretty close. There's no rain under it, so it should be okay. Oh, I never changed the mode. How fast do you want us to go? Super very fast. Let's aim for this cloud. Hope it's gonna give us some more lift. Maybe we can even go for this cloud. So let's see. The wind is coming from our left and behind. So this ridge is not gonna be on the lee side. It's on the upwind side. That's good. Basically the lee side. So, from the perspective of the wind behind the mountain will give us tremendous seeing and turbulence. Not a place to be. The upwind side can give us some updrafts, so that's good. Let's see how this works. We're just gonna play icy, climb. Fly as close to the mountain as we can. No, there's still sink area. Where's our lift? We need lift. Lift where? this cloud in front of us. We're gonna take a lift from that cloud. Alright, there is some lift now. Cool, let's go. Uh-oh. It's not here. There is some lift, but we are going down as a glider. Right, I need to straighten out. Let's try the other way. Oh, there's some airfield over there. Oh, I think that's our starting point. I was supposed to have starting point at our airfield. Go Ultron the first. Welcome. 1 hour and a half into the stream. Founding the first. How are we doing? How was GPU today? I was lurking a long time there. But then took a bath. Started grinding. I'm loving this. Whoa, look at the train over there. That's some heavy like wall of ride. So it's 1 p.m. so getting later and later. That lift is looking good, so I like it. Let's keep around 90 kilometers per hour. I think that will be best speed for us. I didn't check what's the best speed to climb. Right, Vex, focus. Let's try to get this nicely. Look at my joystick, it's more in center. Uh-oh, I left highway from GPU stream. Fire call. What's that about? There we go. I'll be happy if I can keep constant lift, somewhat constant lift through the whole circle. But this seems to be a little chaotic over here. $5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Long time. I think I need to make a print out of my keybinds because I forgot some of them and now I'm not sure what is what. So yeah, great. Car crash. Oh, not fun. You're a firefighter. That's very admirable, but must be tough work. Work is work. Alright, so now we're going wrong way. Looking at the color of the red lines on our indicator, we need to go this way. A straight circle around this red area over here. Yeah, that's working better now. Oh, Seribot is doing the action. Well done, Seribot. It's the first time I'm seeing Seribot looking some actual bot. Well done. Alright, I think this lift is a little chaotic, so I think we can just continue. Unless I say that it starts getting a little better. So let's go under this cloud as long as we can, and then we'll accelerate. Vanishes in a puff of smoke. Alright, we'll see you around. Poof. Thanks for stopping by. Nice to see you. Vanish. You actually did that. This guy. Alright. Let's switch to cross country mode. We have our speed to fly. So the old school macrodibarometer is still here. Welcome back. Looked a little different. I wish I could show you. Maybe some of the planes in this game has it. So I think we can fly a simpler glider next time. And I'll show you how it works, because there's so many moving parts here. It's a little difficult to understand everything that's going on. So we're flying towards the start area. Oh, so we just need to get into the starting area, and that's all. And then we can continue towards our first point. So that's how it works. Only messed up, I wanted our start area. It will come on vanish. Yeah, I actually enabled it. I have an option to disable it, but I couldn't know. I know people like it. I just never do that because it erases all my chats from the VOD. I like my chats in the VOD. So now we're in that starting area. I think it registered us as being in the starting point. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure. I never did any actual cross-country competition, so it's all I think based on what I know. Oh, we need to start the crossing. We need to cross the starting line now. And then we go that area. Task started. Perfect. Took us only like 1 hour to get there. It totally messed up. I thought our starting point is at our takeoff airfield, but anyway. I hit the escape. I still have the mouse, so if I'm showing anything, I think that's way better. Oh. So if I want to show anything, this is the way to go. Alright, so this is like the usual barometer. We call it barometer. Have you flown aero like this before? Yes, I have 100 hours on gliders, but I haven't been doing like cross-country flying all too much. I only did what was required to get the license, so I did one with the instructor, that was it. I mostly spend my hours flying around the airfield. I absolutely love it. You can just spend all day like this. It's super fun. So this is showing our speed in kilometers per hour. The faster we go, the more we sink, and there is some optimal speed that can get us the farthest, or like in those conditions. So that's marked as blue over here. That's what we're trying to fly. And it's also helping us, if I keep this red line at 0, then we're at our speed to fly. So that should give us, that should get us the fastest from A to B, including our climbs. Now this barometer is showing how much up or down we're going in meters per second. This is like the dumb one. And this one is a little smarter. It also takes input from our airspeed indicator and knows how much the glider is normally sinking at certain speeds. So it's showing our average area. So this is just this average and netto. So netto is how much up or down the the air itself is going. I flanked my bro into Cessna Skyco too. Nice, I like them. And this red little diamond is, I think, 30-second average, and the blue line should be our average, but from a little less time. Right, let's try to look for some lift. So I think this cloud will give us some lift. It looks healthy. It doesn't. It looks like a little round, so I think this cloud is fresh. We still need to get up to speed with the cloud's life cycle in this game, but it seems to be pictured pretty nicely. Still not super familiar with all the hotkeys in here, so struggling a little, but it's working. So now the wind is coming from our front right. No, our back right. The wind is from the southeast. This is a strong one, but still, it is a wind. I'm a little concerned about going on the lee side of this mountain. Right, that's the lift here. So let's start circling. If there's more gliders around you, you need to be careful and enter the lift a little more controlled and steady. Switch the modes to thermal in here. Where's the lift? I think there was a setting to make it by default look a little more up. I think I need to change it because it's looking a little too much down for my taste. Right, I haven't started the lift very well, but let's try to make it a little better. Now, I want to do a lot of explaining and drawing in paint, but maybe we can do this next time. For now, let's just enjoy the show. But that will involve a lot of posing and whatnot. Still, I think it will be very cool. I also have a handbook, so I need to get it ready. Handbook, I think I've got it in Polish. Right, let's try to center this a little. Think this way, straighten out for a moment. When I have this indication where I have been, it gives me much better idea how much I need to straighten out. And I say I've been doing this for way too long before. It looks like 2-3 seconds is all you really need. See how much we moved, and I only straightened out for like 2-3 seconds, and it got us half circle away. I didn't want to turn, so I had to kick it here. There we go. This is going nicely. Found my glider to have an engine, propeller, reclining seats, and a pretty flight attendant. Alright, it's easy with the reclining seats because in gliders the seats are pretty much reclined by default. Well, not in this one, but normally it's basically a lying position. Like your knees are maybe not your chest level, but you're basically lying, so that's pretty comfortable. There are ones with the engine. It's mostly for escaping bad situation. Many of them also let you take off. Some of them don't let you take off, so you have to take off behind the plane and then you can turn on the engine. As for the flight attendant, might be difficult, but in a two-seater you can have someone in the back. There's also very few gliders with seats side by side. And to my knowledge, all of them are motor gliders. So they're yeah, they have the engine designs for a long-term cruise. So Stema S10, Pipistrel Taurus, which is in the flight sim, and a few of the old ones. So I can buy an add-on with one of those for future. We can pause here, I can show you. These are the add-ons. Right, these are the ones that in-game by default. And none of them have any engine. That's the one we're flying right now, Duo Discus. And here are the add-ons that are pretty pricey. But still, I think they will be cool to fly one day. So like typical motor glider, that will work best for the flight attendant. Is this Stema S10? Where are you? I think it's on the second page. Oh, that's S12, Twin Voyager. Beep-boop, beep-boop. Hey Kitten Airlines, welcome. So this is Is this side by side? Yeah, this is side by side. So it's a little odd for a glider. It has more drag because of being side by side, but other than that, it's pretty cool. And it's designed for a long range cruise. Actually, they have a version for like observation. So our border guard has them. Kitten, you have the touching grass badge. Well done. So I might get this one in future. This is a cool one. You just sit and you can see through. Like, yeah, this is all you see. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't seem that cool in the sim, but imagine sitting here and like all you really see from the glider is this part here. Wow. Yeah. And these are like from 20s, I believe. We had a very similar project glider, and back then they didn't have radio, and there wasn't two-seater gliders for the instructor to teach you in. So basically they got the ground school. They could train a little on the plane, on the glider, just standing stationary on the ground with the wind, so you can train your balance. But that was it, and then off you go. No radio, no nothing. All they told you is hoping it will work. One of my instructors was taught in one like this, so that was interesting to listen. We have the aerobatic glider, which is Polish made. It's actually made in my hometown. I know the person who designed it. Very cool guy. Flying by the seat of your pants. Yes, I think it has speed indicator and altimeter, but well, not much. We have the Puchacz, which is also Polish glider, made in my hometown. So I did some of my training in this one. It's not the best flying glider, but it's pretty cool. This is like old motor glider. I think that the proper name is touring motor glider. This one is super cool. We built a wooden model, like remote controlled model with my dad back in the day of similar version of this, of a little better looking version of this. Also it has these little wheels here. You don't need someone holding your wing for takeoff like normally. That's pretty much it. The rest of them are cruisers. You can clearly tell which ones are old, which ones are new. Anyway, the ones we got by default are pretty good, so there's not really much I need to buy right now. I think at some point I'll still buy some of those. Alright, back to flying. Unless you have any questions that I can answer in Paint. The only problem is when we are flying online with other pilots, I cannot really pause and I cannot really alt tab, because when I alt tab, my joystick stops working. So for a moment I can do that, but not for very long. A little unfortunate about this. Maybe there is some way no, there probably isn't a way to get around this. All this claim, I haven't memorized what's our cloud base. That's an important thing to know, by the way. I really like it. It's quite relaxing. I know what I'm doing. The scenery looks super cool. Maybe next time I'll try to build a task that doesn't go through any airspaces we would normally not be allowed to fly, unless we had some agreement with the ATC. Right, the black line is showing us where to go. I hope we can see all the instruments up here. We can always zoom in. For some reason when I'm holding the button on the stick, it like disconnects for a split second every now and then you can see this crazy jump. It's what works better when I just hold the key with my actual finger. Here we go in the cloud again. Never showed you the speed brakes. Right, it's not comfortable at all. Let's get out of this. Uh-oh. There we go. The click here is when the speed brakes go fully in. They have like a locking mechanism. There's like a bit harder to go over it. That's the click that you see, that you hear. Right, next we go. See, we go that way. I think one of those close in front of us, either the one on the right or the one on the left. Let's go towards the one on the right. There. I'll try to trim it. Oh. Let's switch the mode here. Let's switch the mode here. We need to speed up a lot. I busted that speed to fly. I'll try to have a sip. Normally I would hold the stick with my knees, so no, it's not possible here really. It's a little cumbersome trying to do something in the cockpit while flying this thing. Whenever you need two hands like to open your drink. It's a little cumbersome. Anyway, drink is here. That's a pure tasted water, I swear. Don't get fooled by the color. All the beeping, all the everything. I think we need to fly a simpler glider next time, and then I can do all the explaining. I think that's gonna be much easier. Because here there's so much going on those screens. Won't judge you for recycling. Thank you. Right, I'm not flying in the most straight line or optimized way or anything. I'm not very competitive. Also, this place looks good. This place looks beautiful. I probably need to go here one day. Also, again, if you're simming, I super recommend you to see this green ball. That's the trim in here. So I super recommend you to set the trim on an axis for flight sim. It gets much better feel. How accurate does this feel? It's pretty accurate. It's just a little hard to judge for a number of reasons. One is the controls, the physical controls I'm using are way different than in the real glider. Like my stick is shorter, the range of movement is a little different. I don't feel all the force on the stick. Second thing is I don't feel the movements. So the flying by the seat of your pants is not really a question here. Like it's not really possible. I don't feel that. So a lot of the sensations are not here or different, which makes it difficult to compare. Now, in terms of the gliding experience, so centering the thermals, looking out for clouds, where the thermals are, and so on, it seems pretty accurate. Like, it's definitely a little simplified version of reality, but I think it's pretty accurate as a training experience. So, you know, you can use the same techniques and like train those techniques. So I think it's great for that. Can't be worse than Misfits. Misfits is pretty good. What do you mean? Flying physics, I don't know. It feels pretty accurate for me. It's just a less noisy. You know, flying flight simulator always feels like it's flying on rails. So, also, I'm not a test pilot, and then even not a real test pilot. The thing is, flying a real glider and a simulator is slightly different experience because of the sensations and the hardware that they use. And it goes two ways. Either someone comes in here and they say it's super different, they have no idea what they're doing. So if you get super experienced pilot who's like, you know, world class, and they've never flown a home simulator, they get in here and they have absolutely no clue what's going on. So that's a little funny. And then you have best simulator pilot and you get them in a real plane, they also have no clue what's going on because it's just a little different. So ideally you need someone who has a lot of experience in both of them, and preferably that someone is a test pilot and also understand how simulators work pretty well. So, you know, it's a little difficult to find people like that. I think Condor the Captain Mustache is one person who has a lot of experience in both, and he can tell pretty well how if the thing is working right or not. And he's also very good at tweaking the numbers in the configuration of the plane in sim to make it fly the right way. So, having said all of that, me myself having a lot of experience in both, I think this is pretty accurate. It's just I can't really tell what's the difference because I don't fully understand that. It's like the sims usually feel a little more stable, And there's a little less nuances, but as a trainer, they're usually pretty good. You can still train all your techniques. It's just you need to keep in mind that whatever you train here will not one-to-one correspond to whatever is in real life, but a lot of the things can be trained. So imagine if you're flying in perfectly steady weather, like 0 up down, 0 drop down, 0 wind, no nothing, then the sensation is pretty similar. So if you take this as a starting point, then you can really get somewhere. So I think it's important to keep in mind what is similar, what is a little different. Just remember that whatever train here and whatever muscle memory you get here will not correspond one-to-one to what you get in flight. But when you have that in mind, I think a lot of techniques can be trained here and can be very beneficial. So I did my renewal flight last month, and I was doing pretty good. Obviously, some of the hand flying, it took me like half an hour to get this right, because it wasn't up to speed. But all in all, like, my technique was pretty good, so I think flying the same is pretty beneficial. But you have to keep in mind that the layering may not one-to-one apply to real life. That's pretty much it. I haven't explained it. The topic is a little shrouded in mystery. But then, all the theory you can practice here. A lot of the techniques you can also practice here. So, if you're a glider pilot, and obviously you cannot really glide over winter that much, I think you can train a lot in here and also get some better understanding of the theory, because you can worry-free try that here. And also you can compare the numbers. So, that's pretty cool. Right, trying to follow this black line. I still wish I can put this to north up orientation. I think I went through all my hotkeys and none of them changed any of that. I had some hotkey here and some hotkey here. I don't remember what they do. Let's see, we need to go that way. Oh look, there's a nice tower over here. Yay, and a big antenna. Looks pretty nice. Jeez, the time flies in this thing. Hang on. I think I missed our first turning point. I didn't realize we were this close. So we need to get in this area just to get our turning point registered. Still struggle with flying the correct speed. Now, because of all this electronics here, it's encouraging me to fly this very precisely and fly very perfect speeds, which would work best for me in like real world competition. But I think I want to fly a little simpler glider, so I can explain my point a little better of what I'm doing. I think for next time I'm gonna try to find some simpler glider, and then we can talk a lot more about the theory. That would be super cool. What was the cloud deck again? I think it was like 2700, 2500. Right, so let's climb next in this cloud right in front of us. So see, there is the cloud here, and there is the shadow of this cloud. The shadow tells me more or less how far the cloud is. I just need to have a good look where the sun is. So the sun is like this angle. It's basically a little behind me. It's like 20 degrees behind me, like 45 degrees up. So that means this cloud is over this area, more or less. And then the thermal is gonna be upwind of that cloud, and the wind is now from our so the wind is going like here. I'm having a hard time visualizing it. So the thermal is going like from here down, so to the front and to the right. So it will be going like from here over there. So let's see what that looks like. Almost. That's where the thermals are. I'm still not sure what all the colors mean. Is it just the strength of the thermal? This is where we're going. So we're looking at the clouds. It's done. Oh, this cloud is dissipating. So see, it's just disappearing. Nice snakes. Yeah. This cloud is just disappearing in front of my eyes. So I don't think it's gonna give us too much lift. This cloud just disappeared. I'm heartbroken. Okay, plan B. I don't want... So, the mountains in front of us, we're on the lee side. There will be downdrafts generated by that wind, most likely, so I don't want to go there. Oh, there is a massive city over here. Plan B, I think we're gonna try this little cloud over here, or the bigger cloud behind it. Let's have a closer look at this cloud in front of us, this small little cloud, if it's getting bigger or smaller. So if it's in a growing phase or dissipating phase. I think it's in a growing phase. So I think it's gonna work. Hey, it's definitely getting bigger. Or maybe that's just because we're closing in on the cloud. Right, so now we're just need to go through the lift generated by the cloud. So it should be to the right of the cloud from our perspective. Somewhere over here. Also maybe possible that this cloud is kick-started by the ridge lift. There we go. Actually, are we bored of turning to the right all the time? Shall I try left? It's said that most people prefer left. I feel I prefer right for some reason. At least in the glider. So let's try to reverse this turn. I need to kick a lot of rudder when initiating a turn. Right, having this screen helps a lot identifying what the center of the thermal is. I hope this is all making sense. I'm just talking, not drawing anything. So you might have a hard time understanding this. I'll draw something now. And I have all those fancy instruments. So I have the beeping, I have the net variometer, I have this flight computer that's showing our track overlaid with the climb that we're getting. So that's a lot of tools to use. Oh. Basically, the technique for centering is as soon as you hear this going up or see this going up, you straighten out for a moment. I feel what might be centering is a ridge lift combined with the thermal. That's why it seems a little chaotic. Or maybe it's just me not flying perfect circles. No, it seems pretty narrow, to be honest. If it's narrow, then we need to fight it. That's proper mountain flying. That's what I'm used to. See, I'm making the circles way tighter now, in the hope to stay within the lift at all the time. Also, I have my speed pretty low, but if there's more gliders flying around it, we want to keep a little more speed. So there's less chance of stalling and spinning down and hitting someone. Super not good thing to do. Right, this lift ain't great. Definitely had better lifts along the way. Maybe that's not the best place to climb over here. Oh. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's just me doing a bad job. Trying to work a little more on the stick and rudder. I think that was my mistake previously. It's a little tricky, I still don't fully understand that. Like, sometimes you need to kick this rudder more for a moment, sometimes release it. And also this yarn string. It's not always where it's supposed to be, but then we also want to keep our nose turning all the time. So, you can totally see I sort of know what I'm doing, but still haven't outlanded. We're doing the task, cross country, flying A-OK, and then in Flight Simulator, sadly, I couldn't center any lift. Do a barrel roll. So here's an interesting fact. There's two kind of rolls in aerobatics. There is a normal, standard aileron roll, and there is a barrel roll, and they are different. It's a little difficult to explain. I'll pause and I try to explain. So the aileron roll, imagine this is the plane, you just rotate around the axis. So that's called the aileron roll, and you of course do it this 360 degree. The aileron roll, you fly like, sorry, the barrel roll is like flying around the edge of the barrel. I need some model plane. Now the thing about the barrel roll is that it always have positive G load. In a normal aileron roll, you'll most likely feel negative G, so things falling, up. Things falling up when you're upside down. In the barrel roll, you always have the positive G, so if you hold a glass with water, it will not spill. And for some planes that, right, the aerobatic planes are designed so that the fuel system and the oil system works upside down. But some of the planes that still can do aerobatic do not have engine like that, and they do not tolerate negative G basically at all for a prolonged time. And in those planes, you can only do the barrel roll. You cannot really do an aileron roll. So we can do it as we are going to the next cloud. No fuel, no problem with aerobatics, right? Yeah, basically, no fuel, no problem. The other aerobatics are pretty fun, and it's a little different from the plain one. It also feels super cool when you're inside, and the speed is changing a lot, and you can totally hear it. It gets like quiet. Right, I was talking and I totally lost that lift. So, I still feel this simulation is not like fully realistic. Maybe X-Plane and Flight Sim have a little more nuances and those irregularities and a little more chaos. But honestly, this one feels pretty good. Like, as a training tool, I think I can learn a lot about, even for my stick and rudder. Bear in mind, there is some difference, so it's not gonna fully apply, but a lot of the concepts do apply. Right, let's find some better place to go. I think this plane, this glider in real life is certified for aerobatics, so it's not a big deal to do some figures, but the aileron roll is super demanding, so this one might not be very happy with it. Anyway, let me try. So first thing you need is the speed, as always. Let's get this area. For aileron roll, I want to point a little up and just my aileron. Now right rudder, stick up, left rudder, and pull up. So this was the aileron roll, not done very well. Now we can try the barrel roll. So again, we need speed, a lot of it. That's where it gets a little tricky. So you're pulling and you're turning. But that should be more or less the barrel roll, and you should be feeling the positive G's at all time. I don't think we have the G meter here, so we'll need a plane with the G meter. I know Blinding has it. So we can try and experiment a little more next time. Also, you don't see me struggling very much with not having those 3D cockpit click spots. Everything I operate is bound to my joystick, one way or the other. And it's working pretty well, to be honest. So that's a lot of buttons to bind, but all in all, it does a good job. And the place is just so beautiful. Oh, and the lightnings. Right. I'm not sure we should be going there if this rain is gonna have any lift for us. Can't imagine not having my clicky touches. Yeah, I think that's the biggest downside of the simulator. I was joking, but that was awesome. This guy. I want to be a little of the educator. No, everything. I may not know everything right, but still, it should give you some idea, and then you can research it. At least, yeah, we have an idea what to look for. This is also on the lee side. I don't want to go there. This rain is not gonna give us any good lift. This, you know, the rain is the water going down, so it drags some mirrors together with it. So I think we need to deviate. Let's go out, because toward these clouds. They look pretty healthy. I can also do a loop, and then in the loop you can hear in the top position, it gets very quiet as the speed drops. Well, let me show you. Let's go to 200, and we pull. Here, now it gets very quiet over here. I need to like let it go a little, and now start rolling a little more. So for a glider, it requires, well, for a plane as well, but for a glider it's even more pronounced. It requires a good technique to make that loop look round. Very nice. Yes. We're going too fast? Oh, because we're doing the loop. Maybe we should get Puhach. Puhach is a simple two-seater plane. So I'm trying to observe those clouds, if they're growing or shrinking. I think the one here is very fresh because it just looks like a donut. It's just a pretty fluffy ball, but it looks healthy, like growing. This is like young adult cloud. It has a pronounced base, so it's not super young. I cannot move this menu. It has pronounced base and it's clearly like growing. This one is even more adulter. Those ones are very adult. Like this one is it's not dissipating, like it's very adult cloud. So there's things going up and things going down, but we don't like things going up. Let me see if I can see any. Oh, and see this little donut is clearly growing. This might be a new cloud forming or an old one, just remnants of the old ones. Also, like those structures, like I'm sure, like those veils, it may indicate cloud get like this starting to dissipate. At least in this part of the cloud. Oh, so that is forming. Remember, like a moment ago, that was just a little puff. So let's just go there. This growing, then there will be more growing underneath. Yeah, it's clearly growing. That's something that's very important in gliding, like observing those clouds. Bear in mind, as you're circling, the world is spinning around you all the time, so it's not that easy to keep a lookout at one particular cloud. Right, maybe that wasn't the best idea. That's awkward angle, you can see those textures that consist of the clouds just rotating. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that's... the lift seems to be pretty high. That's a fresh cloud, so that can be very strong lift. Oh, can. Let's see if it's gonna be. It can also be very narrow because the cloud is fresh. So when the cloud is like young adult, it will start sucking there in as well. So the closer you get to the cloud, the larger the lift area is gonna be. But for this one, it's definitely gonna be pretty narrow. There was lightning strike over there. So I need to be pretty aggressive flying those circles here. But at least we're being rewarded with quite a strong lift. So now it went down. And as soon as it starts beeping again, I'll straighten out for like just a moment and start circling again. It trying to work my stick and rudder to have this constant turning speed, but I'm still doing something wrong. I don't know, I'm mashing the controls a little too much, or maybe not mashing them properly, or not using the proper controls, and my turning speed is going up and down all the time. By turning speed, I mean we're not rotating steadily, we're like, see now it's rotating slow, no, the other time it's rotating fast, work that stick, yeah. So I really wish those thermals were working better in Flight Simulator. I know in X-Plane they're implemented like the dump way, there's just thermals over there, so they should be easier to fly. And then in Flight Simulator, they're totally not working, which is super sad. Just in 5 meters per second over here. That's a lot. Like what I'm used to is 1.5 to 2.5 is like was very strong in my area. So I'm used to flying those weaker thermals and just doing my best, staying inside and climbing. Right, now I did something wrong and we got out of it again. I think it's because this rotating speed and their speed is not constant all the time. Hell yeah, that's a strong thermal. And we weren't even close to outlanding this whole trip. Right, now we're getting into the clouds, so I'll start accelerating. Get back on the black line, and off we go. I wonder if I should turn down those lamps that are shining on me. I'm getting a little tired of having this in my eye. Right, switch to cruise country mode. Oh, we're going to finish, so we can check our final glide. 30 kilometers distance. DDH, there's DDH over there. So I think that's our required altitude. Like how much altitude we will lose to get there. 900 meters. Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. I'm not flying the perfect speed, so it keeps going up. Here's that perfect speed. Oh, there's a mountain in between us and the finish line. So let's see how that works. Let's plan our route through that mountain. You know what? I'm enjoying this way more than I should. And also this area is pretty nice, like having all those mountains. Looks beautiful, but also adds a little challenge to the flying and planning and thinking. So I am loving it. The sim, I think it's a little simplistic, but a lot of the nuances are modeled. Let me put it a different way. A lot of the important things are modeled correctly, and maybe some nuances are missing. They definitely took a lot of care to have this cloud evolution and cloud life cycle got right, to have the thermals in the proper places. A of this gliding path. This is done very well. Right, I got the lights down. Now we get way too fast. I still don't understand this tone. I think this is like a warm tone when we are too fast. So it's encouraging me to go slower, like in a climb. And it's like all the dark tone when we are too slow. Also that's low tone, and the other one is high. Got it. But there is like a weird hissing. That's when you pull high Gs, and I'm not sure how to explain it or why it happens. Basically imagine thing going through an air at a higher angle of attack. But the angle of attack is actually higher in this high G situation, and that hissing is, well, what happens at high G. Don't you call my hissing weird, human? Yeah. But in jet fighters, even in recordings of jet fighters, like from a GoPro microphone, you can hear this hissing, like F-18, F-16. They also have this hissing. And this hissing is an aerodynamic effect. So I think it's great. Gliders are so fun, like you can learn so much about the other types of flying. And there's a little less moving parts. Well, namely the engine. What's the DDH? Hang on. I'm gonna Google that. Actually, they have it in the manual. So let me get this manual. Asking me to do the captcha. The manual is pretty good. It doesn't go into very detail. DDH is the estimated high above the turn point at which you will arrive. Ah, so this will put us only 300 meters above the field, so that's not good enough. Also, they have like two flight computers. There is this more sophisticated one, but I had some trouble operating it. It had so many menus and everything, so I decided to not use it today. We're using the simpler one. Everything is more or less described here. So that manual is pretty cool. I can link it in the chat as well. There we go. It's pretty cool. Gliders also have these polar speeds, which is very important. This graph basically tells you that's a different graph. This graph. For airspeed on the top, what is your sink speed? So the faster you go, the more sink speed you have. And then there is this certain speed where you have the minimum sink. So that's the best one for being in a climb in thermal. Like this one here would be my favorite. And then if you draw a line from 0, 0 that will touch this is the best glide speed. So you'll cover most distance using on this speed. However, whenever you're seeing, you can imagine this whole graph goes down. Or conversely, you can move the point where you start the line a little up. So if the sink is like 1 meter per second, you will need to start here and then draw a line that's touching it. And it's touching around here, and that gives the best glide speed here. So that will be like 100 instead of 80. So when you're in a 1 meter per second sink, our best glide speed will be a little higher. So that's what the barometer is showing me. This speed to fly is the best glide speed in these conditions. Also, whenever there is a thermal weather, so there are the thermals going up, but you can expect all the area between the thermals to have a sink pretty much constant. So this device is pretty clever. When it dials in the average lift, it sort of knows what's the average sink between the thermals and can give you this best glide speed. Alright, enough talking. Unless there is something else interesting in the manual. No, it doesn't have too much to explain, but it's still a decent manual. Back to flying. We're on the lee side, back to working the stick, yes. We're on the lee side, so I'd rather cross this mountain range sooner than later. We're not getting ourselves in a bad situation, so let's cross over this pass. Now we're on the lee side, so the wind is now blowing in our face. So you can imagine the wind is going up along the ridge on the other side, and then starts to go down on the lee side where we are. So you can expect some turbulence and sink very soon. But then you can expect some lift after, well, basically as you pass over the ridge. I'm glad you're liking this. I very enjoy it. There's a lot of theory. I'm a little chaotic trying to explain that, and because I know this all so well, I may not be doing the best job explaining it. So I think next time I can try with some drawings. Also, I'm explaining just what I'm doing as I go, but maybe if I focus on a certain topic, it will be a little easier. See, there's a lift as soon as you cross that. Right, that's a little too aggressive. I think also this lift converges then into this cloud. Oh, I need to switch the mode. And I think we're in a ridge lift situation. So we're just riding the air that's going up along this mountain slope. So the wind is now going from our right to our left, and I'm just riding this wind going up. You're good, don't worry, thanks. I still want you to learn as much as you can, but you know, it's not very well organized. So one thing that you can do when you're climbing, I don't understand what. Hey Sickle, welcome. We're gliding. I've been doing this in real life back in the day for a long time. So I basically spent a few years gliding in my hometown. I super miss it. Where are you going? So you're in Slovenia, not to be mistaken with Slovakia. And we're going back to the airfield where we started. And you know, this thing has no engine. So we're basically using the updrafts and downdrafts that are here in nature. Just like the real birds. Circles. Hey, cool with the sub again. Thank you. Glad to have you here. Circles, but he did do a barrel roll. I did a barrel roll and an aileron roll and a loopy loop. Uh-oh. Why is my chat reconnecting? It's back. Thank you, AC. Thank you. Oh. So if you're riding the ridge lift, and normally it just extends like 100, 200 meters over the ridge line. Well, between 100 and 300. So if you find some stronger lift that you want to now center and go up, you don't want to fly into the mountain. So what you can do is fly the figure eight, so that you always turn towards the wind, never turn your back towards the wind, because the wind will push you into the mountain. That's basically what I'm doing right now, even though I don't really have a need anymore, because we have quite a safe distance from this ridge. AC, hey kitten. Nickname Club, United. Mountains in the way, but yeah, I mean, as long as you don't hit them. So the rule for me was 150 meters horizontally and vertically from the mountain. This might have changed, but that's pretty easy to gauge. Alright, I'm just flying, not caring too much. Oh, I super like this. Hang on. Let me show you what I mean. Never gone. Where was it? It was like fibrous structures. See, it looks like fibers or whatever. I love flying close to this. It looks so pretty. Also, when you stall, it does have a buffet, so all the flying characteristics are like, and it does your spinning. So I think all the behaviors and characteristics are modeled. But there might be like modeled, on rails. Like if this then that. That's lovely view. Yeah. I'm not sure what to call this in English. Right. I think you can ride under that cloud base. So I don't see the clouds, but I believe the clouds will extend in front of us along this ridge line, because basically this ridge line, this ridge lift is kickstarting the convection that's creating the clouds. Now we're between clouds, so there will be some seeing. Well, let's ride into the next cloud in front of us. Oh. We are well high enough to get to our airfield. I think the airfield is just over there. Yeah, remember there is this lake with a church on an island, and the airfield is over there. It's also 20 past midnight, so it's gonna be just right to end as we arrive there. Now we can just ride into this cloud base. And then we'll just accelerate and go towards the field. We all love our robotics, so we also need to do something about that. Right, let's ride towards that finish line once we cross it. We can do some more robotics. I want to get some more lift along this ridge line in front of us. So let's try to go through it. I'm operating my trim a lot. Whoa, the game froze for a split second. That's the first time it did that. Also, I feel that frames are a little worse with all those clouds, but it's still very impressive frames. So if the computer is right, we'll have 1000 meters over the field, so that's still a lot of altitude to lose for fun. getting some lift as expected. But this is super cool. I really like how this is simulated. So this ridge line gave me the lift that I was expecting. See all these gliding things? It works. It works nicely. Also, I said very strong weather, so it wouldn't be that pretty in the worse weather. Right, let's go down towards the airfield. Those mountains are so pretty. I'll just kill this sound. Can't be bothered anymore. You see the field, it's over there. Also, we need to cross the finish line. Well, let's go there. Let's think about our landing direction. Right, so we need to land the direction I'm going. The wind is going. The wind is going from here, from this corner of the map, to this runway will be good. So we'll land this direction. I think the field is over here. That's where I remember it. Right, we'll have a lot of place for the aerobatics. Great fun. I love it. So honestly, the biggest downside of the game is not having click spots in the 3D cockpit. And I think having click spots on this instrument here would be amazing. But it's not there. It's all hotkeys and keyboard that can also bind to joystick. Make click spots great again. Yeah. Now for the aerobatics, I don't know that many figures that I can do. Alright, I know stall, I know spin, I know the one that I forgot the name. I never know the English name. I know the hammerhead, I know the loop, I know the aileron roll, barrel roll, tail slide, which is very difficult. We can try them all. Let's try with... Do we start with a stall or do we start with a spin? I think we can make a stall, recover, and then go straight into the spin again. Yay, we finished. 35 kilometers per hour average, which is very low, especially in these good conditions. Right, so let's try to do a stall first. I want to get speed low. You'll see the buffet, but I don't want it to start spinning. That's stall. I should be working with the rudder and not the ailerons to keep it in stall. So now, if you look at our sink speed is going down, also even though we're gliding very slow. Now we can make a spin. So that spin, let it develop. So 1, 2, 3. Center, kick the rudder. Does have some inertia there. Pull it. Right, let's try the tail slide. It looks a little weird from the cockpit. It probably looks a little better from the outside. Now we can do a loop. Right, that's not probably not looking nice from the outside at all. But here we go. We can try a aileron roll. this is a little sluggish on the aileron, so I need to use like full rudder and everything. And I lost some control over there, so the nose dipped. Also try the barrel roll. I've done the best of that. Also, I have only trained few of those. Oh, I'll show you my favorite. I'm not sure what's the English name. We call it wywrót szybki. So I'll pull and kick the rudder. But hang on, I'll need just a little more speed. So full stick back and full rudder. Now let it accelerate. This is absolutely fun to fly. Alright, that's uncontrolled, whatever. I think I can try the loop again. Pulling. Oh, we haven't done the spiral yet. So spiral, as opposed to spin, looks like this. It's higher speed, high G, and the ground is turning like that, so it's coming from up, down. And it's very easy to overload the aircraft and break it apart. So this can spiral out of control, quite literally. It's the one that we train recovery a lot from, and how to distinguish it from this situation. So see, now it's slow, it's very quiet, and it's rotating around you. And it's very low G, so you can really feel the difference. Right now those textures are not great. So we're pretty low. We're like 400 meters, so let's try to make a low pass. And I will probably not be able to do like full-blown traffic pattern. There you go. Right, so that's a very high low pass. But I'll be able to land from this configuration. It's a little weird when you're going fast in a glider. You're not, even if you're flying level, your nose is just pointing down so much. It looks bizarre. Right. So we pull up, we go a little left to make some room. Gear down. I don't have my head tracking, so I'm trying to guesstimate my height. Alright, that's about perfect. I would have died twice in the past 5 minutes. Why? I mean, some of the things we did here was a little too low to do that. Like that last spin, that was dangerously low. So I wouldn't do it that low in the real glider. Basically, the lower you are, the faster you want to be. There we go. Pull air brake. Keep that speed back. Keep those wings level. Keep the heading until a full left stick, and there we go. We have arrived. That's it. Big applause. Right, that was super fun. Do we have the applause? Also, I'm not sure if you've noticed, I added Tangia in the interactions. Oh, it's all for the beats. I see. I need to add some of the for the point redemptions as well. You can't even do that with an engine. I mean, I feel it's a little easier without the engine. That's our glider. Does it have flaps? Doesn't have flaps, but then when I extend the speed brakes, it has those things going down there. I'm a little confused. See, this looks totally like flaps, but we don't have flaps. I don't know. There's a lot of cameras which we haven't tried, so I need to take notes what is what. And that's it. Big glider, big glider, 2-seater. Oh, when you're flying solo, you need to be in the front seat, because otherwise the center of gravity is not gonna be where you want it. So solo always front. Basically, the other guy or gal, they sit very close to the center of gravity. And also 2-seaters usually have the wing sweep forward, so that puts the second person more towards the center of gravity. That's the reason of this wing sweep forward. That's it. That's the gliding for you. Don't mind the grass popping through the wind. Right, I've super enjoyed it. I think the sim is pretty nice. It can be a little simple in some areas. Then some areas are modeled very nicely, like showing all the behavior that you want there in a training or practice tool. So I'm super happy. Let's see who's up, who we can ride. And I'll see you another day. Let's go. Jam is up, Conti is up, 757 Spy is up. Who are we gonna raid? Alright, I can raid Conti. We haven't raided Conti in a long while because time-wise it's a little difficult for me on this Australian. It's gonna be cool. Let's go. I've got his stream up, which you hopefully cannot hear. Perfect. Thanks for the stream. Have a safe flight. Thank you. What I need now is sleep. There's work tomorrow. So, thanks for coming. I had a blast. It was so fun, a little relaxing, a lot of learning, a lot of practice for me, a lot of remembering all the things I knew and having used in a while. Vex raid, there we go, there's also sub raid. AC knows the drill. Thank you for sticking by. Nice to see you all here. And yeah, next stream is whenever, maybe tomorrow, maybe never. I hope a little sooner. I see what we'll be doing. I think we'll need to do this more often. I had the Condor 2 for like a year or two, but I never had the mind space to just try it and getting the hang of it. So it's always catching up when you see it. You need to wrap your hand around it. You need some time. Oh, that is over. Got to catch your stream before bedtime. Yay! I'm glad you managed to catch it too. Wait a minute. It's super weird time for you. Is it so early or so late? Have you stayed up all night or have you woken up early? Anyway, glad to have you here. Honestly, the thing that makes me most sad is that how the time zones work. I can't make a good time that will work for everyone. Alright, we're almost there. 6:30 AM. Whoa. So, have a nice day ahead. Have a good night or have a good day. And here we are. Alright, bye bye bye. Thank you for coming. I think I can be holding it. Yes. Hang on, I forgot to clip it. So, once again, yay, we have the cheesecake. It's the breast cheesecake. It has the pistachio sauce and raspberries. And we also have the espresso. And look at the cheesecake. Look at the cheesecake. It's super delish. I am so gonna enjoy it. Flowers. I think it's amazing. See, they're really beautiful. I know, I know the Polish name, goździki. They're pretty beautiful. Hang on. And there's some sunflowers. See,